So, what are the different options available when it comes to growing your podiatry practice? Like I mentioned, there's offline plans, visiting podiatry, visiting running shoe stores, working at running events if you're in the sports medicine niche. I'm going to go over you and let you know that not every single thing you do is going to be the same thing as the guy down the street or maybe one of your colleagues from residency. There's going to have no perfect kind of mix of these different things, but once you know what these 5 kind of pillars are, you're able to kind of grab that attention, create that connection with potential patients, and then kind of create some action from your prospective patients. When they take action, they're visiting your practice and becoming an important component of someone you can take care of in your practice. So in my mind, there's basically 5 areas that I call the elements of an online presence. That includes the foundation, discovery, your communication, reputation, and promotion. So the first area that we're going to look at is your clinic website and your Google My Business page. So your clinic website is basically your clinic's first impression when someone jumps from Google or somewhere else over to see what you're all about. It can extend the professionalism of your practice and really shows them what you are the go-to expert in. And hopefully it'll build trust so they'll feel the need to make an appointment with you. When we make a clinic website, it's really important that it shows you taking care of your ideal patient. It's focused on the patient and their problems and not reading like a resume for you and your practice. It's okay to show them where you went to residency and things in your bio, but you really want to focus on what the patient needs and you kind of treating your ideal patient. And mostly you want to show and don't tell, meaning great photos go a long way and are more important than long paragraphs of text. So you want authentic, real photos of you treating your ideal patients on your website. Also on your website, you want these kind of clear calls to action. Do you have your phone number prominently up in the upper right-hand corner of the website? Do you have buttons that say request an appointment? And are you kind of making sure that other buttons are not getting in the way? You're not having social media buttons and other things that are basically acting like an exit sign. You want people to stay on your website, either call your clinic or make an appointment when they visit. The next part of the foundation is your Google My Business page. You're probably familiar with that. That's that area that's right here on your Google My Business page. So anytime you click, you type in your name or your clinic's name, your Google My Business page is going to show up. And this is, a first impression that happens even before they visit your clinic's website, because Google wants to keep people on google.com for as long as they can. They can click here to visit your website. They can call your clinic directly. They can sometimes even click to make an appointment. So this Google My Business profile is very, very important these days. These are really important because it contributes to these zero-click searches where people look at your Google My Business profile and decide right then and there whether they think you are the right podiatrist to come and see. So that's the first step. The next step is basically discovery. Now that you have your foundation built, how are people going to find that you provide, care to different demographics of people, the procedures you provide, and the diagnosis you take care of that they may not have realized before? So the first step is Google search, right? People are going to search plantar fasciitis Milwaukee or plantar fasciitis Chicago, and maybe they're going to search podiatrist near me. And you and your practice really need to show up here. Otherwise, it's going to be something where it's, they're not going to be able to, if you're ranking on page 2 or page 3, they won't know that you exist. So you really need to work on making sure you show up in Google search. Like I mentioned, ideally you're the number 1 result for the keywords that are most important to your practice. And you really want to basically monopolize the keywords and monopolize that page on Google, whether it be in the ad section, the map section, or what's called the organic section, to make sure your clinic has maximum visibility. This is where search engine optimization comes in. This is the way that your website kind of ties to Google, and it's the way you build out your website to make sure that it shows up in that map section area and also ranks as high as it can in the organic section. This does not really have anything to do with the ad section. We'll get into that in a bit, but this is really based on searcher intent. When you are the most relevant search result for what people are searching for on Google, they're going to reward your website and rank you higher on Google. Like I mentioned previously, there's also search ads, and you're going to show up in different areas by bidding on terms like podiatrist near me, kind of in your local area. If you're based in Los Angeles, maybe it's Los Angeles podiatrist. These are patients that are looking for a potential podiatrist, and by showing up there, you become a perfect opportunity for them to make a clinic appointment with you. Like I mentioned, this searcher intent is what makes Google ads different than any other type of advertising. You're not kind of interrupting people. These are things that people are looking for at the present moment. Google is basically giving them a very relevant result because they're telling Google exactly what they want. And when your clinic name and the services you provide show up there, they're more likely to click through and make an appointment with you in your clinic. The next step is based of an online presence that's really important is your patient emails. You probably have a database of your patients, and as long as they've given you permission, this is an opportunity for you to educate your patients about all the types of care you provide, which is really important. Maybe they don't know you do ingrown toenails or ankle surgery. By sending out either an email monthly or every 2 weeks, you can tell them about all the things you provide. It helps keep you top of mind, and you reach not only them, but their network, their family, and their friends. Like I mentioned, sending out this on a consistent basis allows you to speak directly to them. You're not going through Facebook, you're not paying for ads, you're basically sending directly to their inbox, and they're more likely to engage with you through patient emails than they are any other platform. The next is basically getting online reviews for your clinic from your patients. These gold stars that show up in Google My Business on Maps are hugely important and separate you from other types of podiatrists. When you show Google reviews, let's say you have 100 versus someone that has 7, it's a clear marker of trust that you are that go-to expert. It's a form of digital word of mouth that can't be matched. You know, when there's 100 reviews there and they're all 5-star and legitimate written reviews about how you and your staff provided great care, that's going to set you apart from the competition. Like I mentioned, it's not only the star rating, but the number of positive reviews you have makes a huge difference. Last but not least is promotion. With promotion, we're talking about Facebook ads or Google display ads. Facebook ads are important because they help you get a new procedure and make kind of your local audience aware that it exists. You know, with Google search ads, you're able to basically know what people are searching for. But these are topics or procedures or things you provide that people don't know exist. So by putting it to their Facebook feed, they become aware that you're doing things like the Swift laser or electric shockwave therapy for heel pain. It's a really important component of things. The also important component of Facebook ads is that you're able to go after specific demographics of people. Maybe you want to treat more runners. So by looking for the people that like your local marathon, let's say you're in Chicago and people like the Chicago Marathon, they're more likely to be runners. If they see you're treating heel pain with shockwave, you might get more of those patients to come to your practice. You can also do things based off of the age of the patient, their location, anything that they share on Facebook. Usually you can kind of create an ad for that subgroup of people. Now, not all of these things are perfect. You know, you don't necessarily have to do all of these different things, but creating kind of your own perfect recipe is what it's all about. Maybe the first step is to build a website that's going to convert more website visitors into scheduled patients. That's the first step. And then working on your SEO or buying some Google search ads and then incorporating a newsletter. There's no one perfect way of doing it, but once you know what these things are, you're able to either build something yourself or work with a professional in the future to build out what the right kind of overall perfect recipe for you and your practice is based on those clinical results that you want to get.